essential preparations that need to be made. And those include: have your company's financial house in order. Don't wait to position your operation until you're under pressure. Don't wait to position your operation. I've run into situations where I've talked to an owner for 7 years, and he kept saying, we're talking seriously, but saying, no, not now. And finally he put me to work, and unfortunately he had those health problems, and they were imminent, and they were pressing, and we got the job done. But even when he identified the right buyer and he was going to move forward, and he truly liked the buyer and he wanted this taken care of so it was something his wife didn't have to deal with after he passed away, he looked at me and he said, Linda, I hope you know that if I didn't have to, I wouldn't be selling this company. And I told him, oh, I know. But it was something that the whole family wanted this to happen, wanted it to work. It was what he wanted. And it was an important and a successful closing. As a business owner, it's really tough to understand that there's not a set schedule, and your right buyer may not be on the market right now. And so the question comes up, how long will it take to go to a closing? On average, how long does it take to go to a close? And Bill Wentz out there would probably have an even better answer than I do to this question, because I know he's dealt with it as well. But one of the things I would say is you need to keep the definition of on average in mind. Now, I was at an M&A Source conference, and they had a great economist give the keynote speech, and he was asked an on average question. And he looked out at the audience and he said, well, I won't answer that question until I give you the definition of on average. And he came out from behind the podium and he said, on average, if you've got 1 foot on a block of ice and your other foot in the fire, on average, you're comfortable. And I loved it, it resonated, and it really related to how long does it take to sell a company. I don't think there is an average. You can tell someone it may be 6 months, it may be 2, 3 years. When will your right buyer be out there? And so it's a tough question to answer, and there is no solid answer. And so you may have one person, I had one person who said, Linda, take the whole year. I signed up an engagement agreement for a year. He said, take the year. I said, what do you mean take the year? Nobody said that. He said, Linda, I'm only 73. I'm not really sure I want to retire. So take the year. We advertise the business. Buyer calls, comes in. We look at the business the same day. A day or two later, I've got an offer on the table, and the seller and his wife came in to look at the offer, and he said, before I look at it, Linda, I want to know what happened to my year. And I looked at all 4 corners of the room, and finally I said, I told you nothing's average. And he said, oh, okay, and his wife thinks this is really funny. So there's nothing average, and so it can be long.